by using the tools of the earth. We need to use our own tools. We need to use our ancestral tools of analysis, tools of restoration, tools of rebuilding, tools of renaissance to return to our own African renaissance. Otherwise, what we are doing is a great disservice to ourselves, thinking that we are going to use the Bible, which is not African, to rebuild ourselves or to restore ourselves. So we need to return to our own modality. We need to begin to think. We need to begin to think in terms of African concepts, ideas, and principles as African people, both at home and abroad. That these are principles that are necessary for our own existence and our own survival. They form part of our African ontology. They form part of our African epistemology. They form part of our African cosmology. They form part of our African axiology, our African value system, what we call Ubuntu. So now the Africans have been scared away from Africa in terms of the physical Africa, the conceptual Africa, the epistemological Africa, the political Africa, the ontological Africa, the historical Africa, the cultural Africa, the spiritual Africa. So we're flirting with so many foreign ideas. You get others who say they are into yoga, and they start to tell that, oh, yoga was come from Egypt, and what they say, look, man, listen, the word yoga itself is Sanskrit. It's Indian, it's not African. So just to start there, because if you can't name it, you can't claim it. If you don't have the African name for this thing that you're trying to Africanize it, you are engaged in self-colonization. You are engaged in self-enslavement. Now we also need to.
You don't think any yoga comes from Africa?
No, there's no yoga coming from Africa. Dr. Muwat Ashby is one of the people who misled our people about this thing that yoga is Kemetic and all of that. I have a couple of his books, I read them, and he clearly states about the Sanskrit thing. You see this notion that Ethiopia ruled all the way to India, to River Ganges. Therefore, it is an excuse to adopt Indian things